So the Lighthouse family. Here we have a psychological thriller featuring Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. You don't know I like Willem Dafoe. I think he's very underrated. And I've been using this word bizarre quite a lot so far this year. There's been three films which have been very bizarre, quite diabolical. And you know what? I would use that word for this film, but in a positive way. It's a bizarre film, but I'm gonna use the word peculiar for this film. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. Hang tight the subscriber that advised me to watch this film. Thank you. Yo peeps, before we go any further, please click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Much appreciated. Let's get back to it. I'm going to be completely honest and say it was not what I expected. And maybe that's why I liked it so much. Because I went in there with very, very little expectations. And I left with my own conclusion on the film, which is peculiar of me, I suppose. So I'm going to tell you what I thought this film was. In basically a sentence, I thought it was a black and white version of Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio. If you haven't seen that film, go watch that film. And I'll tell you why I thought that. There's a part in this film where Willem Dafoe's character, who is the lighthouse keeper, is asked his name, and he says his name is Thomas. Whereas Robert Pattinson says his name is something else, but then later on in the film, he admits to Willem Dafoe's character that his name is actually Thomas. And I thought, right, it's a small world for two Thomases to be in one place. This must be one of those psychological things where that is his conscience. So that's why I thought that. But I was so wrong. So let's get back to what actually happened in the film and why I liked it. Very peculiar film in the sense that it's shot in black and white, but yet this film isn't so black and white. See what I did there? Mad. And it's shot in like a one-to-one dimension slash format. You know, when you post on Instagram, for instance, it's the square. That's what this film was shot in. There's no widescreen, there's no immersion, there's no panoramic or views that have you awakening all your senses. This is quite an intimate film in the sense that it's shot in a square, it's in black and white, and it makes you focus on just that square that's in front of you. There's no distractions in this film. It really takes you into the psychological battering that both of these characters are going through, which is really weird and really odd because, as I said before, the fact that it was shot in a square dimension or format didn't make it more immersive, but in actual fact, I think that it did. I was really intrigued and engaged by what was going on in front of me. The acting performances from Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe were sensational. Sensational. I really felt like this film should be adapted into a theatre play because it was literally just those two throughout the majority of this film. There is a mermaid in there, but they really captured the audience. And they really kept you engaged and really thinking, what on earth is going on? So that's why my mind started wondering. I thought it was a psychological thriller in the sense that he is actually on this rock and looking after this lighthouse by himself. But in actual fact, Willem Dafoe's character is very much real. The both of them are stranded on this rock looking after the lighthouse for months on end. They were supposed to be there for 4 weeks. They end up being there for about 4 months, I believe. Because a storm comes in, so they're stranded and the isolation is getting to them and they start drinking heavily, which only adds to the psychological episodes that both of the characters are going through, mainly Robert Pattinson. I mean, Willem Dafoe's character has been looking after lighthouses for many, many years, whereas this is Willem Pattinson's first stint, so he doesn't know what to expect, and he's also got a few demons in his locker, which I will not expose, which then come out and start to play on his mind. He starts to get in fights with seagulls. He starts seeing things, and there is a desperate attempt for him to go up to the light, whereas Willem Dafoe's character will not let him get up to the light. He's very protective over this light for some reason, and that starts to grate on Pattinson's character a lot. He starts to build resentment and anger to the point where it all boils over. It all boils over, and I will not expose what happens then. I liked it. I liked it. Again, the way I thought it ended, or the way what I thought this film was about, I think I would have liked more, to be honest with you. I definitely would have liked more. If it was a psychological aspect, he's really there by himself, and Willem Dafoe's character was there to, as his conscience, to try and pull out and make him deal with all of the skeletons in his closet. And the end game was to get to the light. I thought that would have been better. There was even a scene in this film which helped me with what I thought the film was about, where there was just a shot of like this storm and the waves crashing on the rock, and I thought, you know, that represented waves crashing, like his mind is crashing, which I suppose still stands, because being isolated on the rock for so long with just Willem Dafoe's character has its psychological implications. Makes perfect sense. Really good film. Really good film. I liked it. I'd give it a 4, 3.5, 3.75 actually. Let's go with 3.75 out of 5. I think that's a fair review. Again, should be made into a theatre adaptation because it's so intimate. It's really intriguing, and the performances from these two were incredible. I don't know if they were nominated for any awards in 2020, Golden Globes or Oscars or whatnot, or BAFTAs. I'm not sure. If they weren't, I'm not sure why that is, but this should have been submitted. Maybe it'll be submitted for the next one. I have no idea. But I know nominations are deserved for this film. It's almost like they're both trying to drive each other insane. They're both playing off of each other. The chemistry between these two was phenomenal. They really bounced off each other to make this film work, which was really good. There was also the fact that, as I said before, it's got the square shots and it's in black and white. It actually made the screen and the room that they were performing in look a lot bigger, which again I think is bloody impressive, if I do say so myself. I want to say to you, this film is crap, rubbish, don't waste your time, but I think you should watch it. It's a really good film. I even came home and said to the missus that she has to go watch it by herself because I want her perspective on this film. It's shot in black and white, but I promise you, this film is not so black and white.